तव कथामृतम् तप्तजीवनम् कविभिरीडितम् कल्मषापहम् श्रवणमङ्गलम् श्रीमदाततम् भुवि गृह्णन्ति ये भूरिदा जनाः भुवि गृह्णन्ति ये भूरिदा जनाः।
ॐ तव कथामृतं तप्तजीवनं कविभिरीडितं कल्मषापहं श्रवणमङ्गलं श्रीमदाततं भुवि गृह्णन्ति ये भूरिदा जना. We are studying the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna in the conversations of Sunday, 24th February 1884. And Sri Ramakrishna's hand is still in splinter, and he is telling that his nature is that of a child, not that of a nanny. Nanny says that how I can be healed, but I depend upon the mother. If mother wants me in this, I shall be in that. While talking this now, he says, coercing one said to me. Now the spelling in Bengali and English are somewhat peculiar. The exact pronunciation is coercing. Half nasal, ardha chandra, half anuswar, ku, on ku. Actually Kumar Singh, but they don't say Kumar, they say Kumar. It is the Sikh, a Sikh captain of the regiment which was posted near Dakshineshwar garden. They were all devoted to Sri Ramakrishna, especially their leader, this Kumar Singh. So he is freely talking to Sri Ramakrishna. And he knows Sri Ramakrishna to be a super jnani. He knows Sri Ramakrishna to have attained perfection. And he thinks that Sri Ramakrishna is worried. So that is what he says. Why are you worried? Or he says in a slightly different way, Kumar Singh once said to me, you still worry about your body. That means, why do you worry about the body? But Thakur has not told what he has replied to him. He quoted Kumar Singh telling, and is telling about his own to the devotees. But it is my nature to believe that my mother knows everything. Now let us make two parts of Thakur's personality. Thakur is a devotee, as a man, and Thakur's reality is mother. There is no mother different from Thakur, mind you. We have seen this hundreds of times. But when he makes a distinction, we have to understand that there is a person talking with you. He has a body. And that when you take him as a separate person, then his reality, which he calls his mother, is different. And when he says, mother told me, I depend upon the mother, it is not that. He depends upon somebody else. It is his own reality. But his state of the mind is that of a child. Now, child depends upon the mother. Thakur depends upon his own reality. The person called Sri Ramakrishna is a shadow of the reality. So Sri Ramakrishna depends upon his own reality. But every time you cannot say like that, people will not understand that. And so in language, Sri Ramakrishna says, the child depends upon the mother. I think it has become very clear now that there are not two persons, but apparently there are. And when apparently there are two, then this apparent person depends completely upon the real person. Now, Jnani's nature, Jnani does not accept a lower person. Jnani always remains identified with the reality, and so he says, I am this and I am that. That is the difference. Because Sri Ramakrishna has appeared not as a Jnani, but as an incarnation to teach people, to be near them, to be learned by them. And so he has assumed this position of a child to the mother. If he remains as a Jnani on a higher level, then we will not be able to approach him in a normal way. That is the difference between incarnation, assuming a position, and the world. In the world, there are jnanis and bhaktas and all that. There is a big difference. A ordinary man, jnani, avatar. And this avatar can come and go, and so the avatar has taken the position of a child, so that we at the lower level can associate with him in a free manner. And so he says, and we'll say, mother has kept me like that. That means that is the purpose of him being the incarnation. He has come to teach people. He has come to be loved by people so that they go higher up. And that is the language, because everybody will not understand the reality. And so for common man, this is the language. And jnanis, or those who know, will know very well. So Kumar Singh once said to me, you still worry about your body, but it is my nature. But it is my nature to believe that That means I have kept myself in this position, that my mother knows everything. It was she who would speak at Rajendra Mitra's house. Hers are the only effective words. If this I comes between, I'm speaking, then the word will not have any effect. When it comes from the reality, there is the effect. Reality touches everybody's heart. I cannot touch. One ray of light from the goddess of wisdom stuns 1,000 scholars. Because scholars study by their brains. There may be thousands or lakhs. But when the ray comes from the reality itself, they are all stunned because that is beyond their range. Now he goes on telling about this state of the mind, something wonderful, something unique. You salute me by touching my feet. And Thakur allows that. Because they respect him as a higher person. But had Hriday been here, who would have dared to touch them? Hriday later on tortured Sri Ramakrishna to hell. He thinks that if people touch his feet, then they will gain everything. He would not allow people to touch his feet. He wouldn't have allowed anyone to do it. Now, present state, that is what Hriday would have done. And now Hriday is not there. For some other fault of his, he was removed from the job because he was troubling Sri Ramakrishna. When he helped him during sadhana days, he was kept there. when there is no further need rather than obstruction, when Sri Ramakrishna has started helping, teaching people, so the dispensation is that Hridaya has quit. Now the present position. I have to return your salutes because the mother has placed me in a state in which I see God in everything. He himself has explained this. He himself has explained. Not only return, almost every time it was seen that as soon as a person entered his room, Thakur would salute him. And if he salutes, Thakur will again salute in return. Why? Are people greater than him? Now, a Brahmajnani incarnation like Thakur sees God inside and outside. Now, when he is looking at people, he is looking outside and he finds God there. When he will look inside, he will find God there. And then he will say, what do you want? I'll give you. So, when he looks at people, he sees the mother has placed me in a state in which I see God in everything. No exception. Whether there is a cat or a flower or a garden and everything. You see, one cannot exclude even a wicked person. That means, even in a wicked person, Thakur sees God. A tulsi leaf, however dry or small, can be used for worship in the temple. Now, example, tulsi is supposed to be always pure. Even if it is dried, even if it is very small, it is used in the puja. So Thakur's attitude is same whether that person is pure, impure or whatever it is. It is a counter example given. Because Tulsi is always pure, even is good or bad, it can be used in puja. In Thakur's consciousness, God is everywhere. So whether that outer cover is good or bad, it does not touch God. And so Thakur salutes him. It is in that connection he has given the example of Tulsi. So that day's conversations are over now, very inspiring, telling us clearly the difference between incarnation and a sadhak who has gained perfection. So we shift now to Sunday, March 2, 1884. That is next Sunday, huh? Yes, February 24, March 2nd. Sri Ramakrishna was sitting on a small couch in his room, listening to devotional music by Trailokya Sanyal of the Brahma Samaj. So, this Trailokya Sanyal was a composer and sweet voice singer, and he had composed many of his songs looking at Sri Ramakrishna's Samadhi. And Thakur always appreciated him. He liked his song. He had not yet recovered from the effects of the injury to his arm, which was still supported by a splint. So more than 1 month has gone. The body has become very tender. Many devotees, including Narendra, Surendra, and M, were sitting on the floor. Narendra's father, a lawyer of the High Court of Calcutta, had passed away suddenly. He had not been able to make provision for the family, which consequently faced grave financial difficulties. The members of the family sometimes had to go without food. Narendra was therefore passing his days in great anxiety. That is the background. Trailokya sang about the Divine Mother. O Mother, I hide myself in thy loving bosom. Loving song. I gaze at thy face and cry out, Mother, Mother. I sink in the sea of bliss and am lost to sense. In yoga sleep, see, I gaze with unwinking eyes upon thy face, powerless to turn away. O Mother, I am terrified by this world. My spirit trembles and cries out in fear. Keep me, sweet Mother, in thy loving bosom. Cover me with the spreading skirt of thy love. So, a song depicting a real devotee who has a childlike faith in the Divine Mother. He is afraid of the world. He wants Mother to protect him and he does not look anywhere else. The master shed tears of love and cried out. So that was exactly like Thakur said, Ah me, ah me. Trilokya sang again. O Lord, destroyer of my shame, who but thyself can save the honor of thy devotee? This is a different attitude. Between, say, gopis and Krishna or something of that sort. Thou art the ruler of my soul, my very life support, and I am thy slave forevermore. He continued, seeking a shelter at thy feet. Again, mother has come perhaps, no? I have forever set aside my pride of caste and race, O Lord, and turned my back on fear and shame, a lonely pilgrim on life's way. Where shall I go for succor now? For thy sake, Lord, I bear men's blame. They rail at me with bitter words and hate me for my love of thee. Both friends and strangers use me ill. Thou art the guardian of my name. Thou mayst save or slay me, Lord. Upon the honor of thy servant, rest, O Lord, thy name as well. Thou art the ruler of my soul. The glow of love is in my heart. Do with me as it pleases thee. So if they blame me, blame will reach you also, and you do as I like. Beautiful sentiment. Once more he sang. So Triloki is going on singing. Lord, thou hast taken me from home and made me captive with thy love. Shield me forever at thy feet, O thou blessed, beloved one. Upon the nectar of that love, feed me both day and night, and save Premadas, who is thy slave. Premadas is the composer. The master again shed tears of joy. He sang some lines from a song of Ram Prasad in corroboration. Glory and shame, bitter and sweet, are thine alone. This world is nothing but thy play. Then why, O blissful one, dost thou cause a rift in it? So why this feeling of hatred, shame and all that when all are you? Addressing Trilokya, the master said, how touching your songs are. They are genuine. Only he who has gone to the ocean can fetch its water. That means you have experience of these things, and so your songs are beautiful. Triloka sang again, thou it is that dancest, Lord, and thou that singest the song, thou it is that clappest thy hands in time with the music's beat, but man who is an onlooker merely foolishly thinks it is he. Though but a puppet, man becomes a god if he moves with thee. Thou art the mover of the machine, the driver of the car, but man is weighted down with woe, dreaming that he is free. This is Thakur's spirit itself. Thou art the root of everything, thou the soul of our souls, thou art the master of our hearts. Through thine unbounded grace, thou turnest even the meanest sinner into the mightiest saint. So, will of the God is supreme. The singing came to an end. The master engaged in conversation with the devotees. Master. God alone is the master. And again, he is the servant. Thakur does not miss his Advaita at all. God alone is the master and we are the servant. He says God alone is the master and he himself is the servant. This attitude indicates perfect knowledge. At first, one discriminates not this, and feel that God alone is real and all else is illusory. Afterwards, the same person finds that it is God himself who has become all this. That is the mandate of the Upanishads. People somehow do not understand. Shankar, the great commentator, has emphasized the transcendent aspect of God. He has nowhere denied the immanent aspect. But what he has emphasized, people take only that to be true. And so, this is the beginning. We are reading the Mandukya Upanishad in a different class, and there the first two mantras have told this. Afterward, the same person finds that it is God himself who has become all this, the universe, Maya, and the living beings. First negation and then affirmation. This is the view held by the Purana. Puranas accept this fact. The Vedanta actually also means the same thing, but not normally interpreted like that. A bilva fruit, for instance, includes flesh, seeds, and the shell. You get the flesh by discarding the shell and seeds, but if you want to know the weight of the fruit, you cannot find it if you discard the shell and seeds. Just so one should attain Satchidananda by negating the universe and its living beings. Even the living beings, not that living beings are Brahman and the world is false. But after the attainment of Satchidananda, one finds that Satchidananda itself has become the universe and the living beings. It is of one substance that the flesh and the shell and seeds are made, just like butter and buttermilk. Butter is the essence, but butter and buttermilk are made from same. It may be asked, how has Satchidananda become so hard? So doubts come when we say Satchidananda has become all this. Doubts have to be removed. This earth does indeed feel very hard to the touch. The answer is that, example, in the world itself, blood and semen are thin liquids, and yet out of them comes such a big creature as man. Everything is possible for God. First of all, reach the indivisible Satchidananda and then coming down, look at the universe. You will then find that everything is its manifestation. So this is actual realization of people. If doubt comes, it can be removed. It is God alone who has become everything. The world by no means exists apart from Him. All elements finally merge in Akasha. Again, at the time of creation, Akasha evolves into Mahat and Mahat into Ahankar. In this way, the whole world system is evolved. It is a process of involution and evolution. A very important thing. A devotee of God accepts everything. He accepts the universe and its created beings as well as the indivisible Satchidananda. So transcendence and immanence both are accepted by a devotee. And Gnani's temperament is different. But the yogi's path is different. He does not come back after reaching the Paramatman, the Supreme Soul. He becomes united with it. The partial knower limits God to one object only. Oh, partial knower. God is in Krishna, God is in Rama, God is in this image. He thinks that God cannot exist in anything beyond that. There are three classes of devotees. The lowest one says God is up there. That is, he points to heaven. The mediocre devotee says that God dwells in the heart as the inner controller. But the highest devotee says God alone has become everything. All that we perceive in so many forms of God. Narendra used to make fun of me and say, yes, God has become all. Then a pot is God, a cup is God. Laughter. But Narendra had to accept that by one touch of Sri Ramakrishna. All doubts disappear when one sees God. It is one thing to hear of God, but quite a different thing to see Him, actual realization. A man cannot have 100% conviction through mere reasoning. This is important. Huh? Firm conviction, it can never be firm unless you experience. But if he beholds God face to face, then he is wholly convinced. So first let us be intellectually convinced, then it's not 100%. Formal worship drops away after the vision of God because he goes beyond karma. It was thus that my worship in the temple came to an end. I used to worship the deity in the Kali temple. It was suddenly revealed to me that everything is pure spirit. The utensils of worship, the altar, the door frame, all pure spirit. Men, animals, and other living beings, all pure spirit. Then, like a madman, I began to shower flowers in all directions. Whatever I saw, I worshipped. So his formal worship stopped. One day, while worshipping Shiva, I was about to offer a bay leaf on the head of the image when it was revealed to me that this Virat, this universe itself is Shiva. Virat is called the Samashti, sum total. After that, my worship of Shiva through the image came to an end. Another day, I had been plucking flowers when it was revealed to me that the flowering plants were so many bouquets. So how to pluck out? Trailoke, how beautiful is God's creation. They are devoted to creation. But that is not what Sri Ramakrishna is telling. Sri Ramakrishna is telling actual realization that God is all. This is different from God and his beautiful creation. So Sri Ramakrishna has to correct here. Master, oh no, it is not that. It was revealed to me in a flash. I didn't calculate about it. This is beautiful and that is beautiful. It was shown to me that each plant was a bouquet adorning the universal form of God. That was the end of my plucking flowers. I look on man in just the same way. When I see a man, I see that it is God himself who walks on earth as it were, rocking to and fro like a pillow floating on the waves. The pillow moves with the wave. It bobs up and down. So inside the Chaitanya is there, outside the body moves. The body has indeed only a momentary existence. So this man does not go to enjoy objects like poets and all that. God alone is real. Now the body exists, now it does not. Years ago, when I had been suffering terribly from indigestion, Rida said to me, do ask the mother to cure you. I felt ashamed to speak to her about my illness. I said to her, Mother, I saw a skeleton in the Asiatic Society Museum. It was pieced together with wires into a human form. Oh, Mother, please keep my body together a little like that so that I may sing thy name and glory. Nothing more than that. Why this desire to live? So he gives an example. After Ravana's death, Rama and Lakshmana entered his capital and saw Nikasha, his old mother, Ravan's old mother, running away. Lakshmana was surprised at this and said to Rama, all her children are dead, but still life attracts her so much. Rama called Nikasha to his side and said, don't be afraid. Why are you running away? She replied, Rama, it was not fear that made me flee from you. I have been able to see all these wondrous actions of yours. They represent the Leela of God, the wondrous actions of an avatar. Simply because I am alive, I shall see many more things like this if I continue to live, hence I desire to live. So that is why the world continues, the master lives, everybody lives to see the Leela of God. Without desire, the body cannot live. Smiling. Add one or two desires. God has desires, because he wants to continue as man. I pray to the mother, oh mother, give me the company of those who have renounced human and God. This is one desire. I said further, I should like to enjoy the society of the Jnanis and Bhaktas, both. That is Thakur's speciality. So give me a little strength that I may walk hither and thither and visit those people. But she did not give me the strength to walk. So his body has become very, very delicate. Triloki smiling. Have all the desires been fulfilled? Master smiling. No, there are still a few left. All love. But the other side, so as we say, coin sounds when it is genuine. When my arm was broken, I said to the mother, Mother, it hurts me very much. At once she revealed to me a carriage and its driver. Here and there a few screws were loose. The carriage moved as the driver directed it. It had no power of its own. So from inside only this vision has come. Why then do I take care of the body? It is to enjoy God, to sing His name and glories, and to go about visiting His nannies and bhaktas. Purpose of the incarnation. Narendra was sitting on the floor in front of the Master. Master, to Trailokya and the other devotees, the joys and sorrows of the body are inevitable. Look at Narendra. His father is dead, and his people have been put to extreme suffering. He can't find any way out of it. God places one sometimes in happiness and sometimes in misery. Trailokya, revered sir, God will be gracious to Narendra. Master with a smile. But when? It is true that no one starves at the temple of Annapurna in Banaras, but some must wait for food till evening. That is a famous saying, a real happening. Once Hriday asked Shambhu Malik for some money. Shambhu held the views of Englishmen on such matters. He said to Hriday, why should I give you money? You can earn your livelihood by working. Even now, you are earning something. Because he was serving in the Kali temple. The case of a very poor person is different. Like the beggar. The purpose of charity is fulfilled if one gives money to the blind or the lame who cannot earn. Thereupon Hriday said, sir, please don't say that. I don't need your money. May God help me not to become blind or deaf or extremely poor. I don't want you to give and I don't want to receive. The master spoke as if picked because God had not yet shown his kindness to Narendra. Now and then he cast an affectionate glance at his beloved disciple. Narendra, I am now studying the views of the atheists. Master, there are two doctrines, the existence and the non-existence of God. Why don't you accept the first? Asti, Nasti. There are two sides. Kathāmrita is telling that who hold on to Asti, they will come to know the real nature of God also. If you start with Nasti, Taittiriya says you will become like Nasti. Now Narendra is studying the atheists who do not believe in God. So Thakur says, why not stick to this Asti? You may not know its nature, but Asti. Surendra, God is just, he must look after his devotees. Master, it is said in the scriptures that only those who have been charitable in their aha. So God must look after devotees. This is a different matter. As you sow, so you reap. But God is real, world is unreal. So if you think about God, you will not worry about this. Not that God will give always. No, no, no. It is said in the scripture that only those who have been charitable in their former births get money in this life. But to tell you the truth, this world is God's Maya. Why should we think of that? And there are many confusing things in this realm of Maya. We cannot know anything. There is no proper cause and effect in this Maya. What happens when it happens? One cannot comprehend them. That is the approach of the sadhak. The ways of God are inscrutable indeed. Bhishma lay on his bed of arrows. The Pandava brothers visited him in Krishna's company. This incident comes in Gospel many, many times. Presently, Bhishma burst into tears. The Pandavas said to Krishna, Krishna, how amazing this is! Our grandsire Bhishma is one of the 8 Vasus. He was the form of a god. Another man as wise as he is not to be found, yet even he is bewildered by Maya and weeps at death. But said Krishna, Bhishma isn't weeping on that account. You may ask him about it. When asked, Bhishma said, Oh Krishna, I am unable to understand anything of the ways of God. God himself is the constant companion of the Pandavas and still they have no end of trouble. That is why I weep. When I reflect on this, I realize that one cannot understand anything of God's ways. I will tell another story which I heard from some of our sadhus. Somewhere in a temple in Kerala, they say, in 2 rooms facing each other, 2 sadhus were staying. Both were very pure, very holy, respected by people. But there was a difference. One sadhu was always joyful. The other sadhu used to appear worried. And now and then used to say, I don't understand, I don't understand. And people worried, why? What is the thing he does not understand? And one day, he burst out saying, now I understood. So this sadhu on behalf of the people went to him and asked him, Sir, your life is so pure. Why are you worried at all? This problem sometimes comes. Let me see if I can. Okay. So they approached him and said, what it was worrying you? He said, when I thought of God, read some books, I can easily understand what is God. But I thought that I should know about the world also. So I thought and read so many books, and yet I could not understand what is the world. Then they all become happy. Then today I understood. He said, yes, today I understood that the world is not to be understood at all. That is what I understood. So I'm free from that anxiety. So those who get confused in the world, please think of God the real, not world the unreal. Don't unnecessarily get confused in the world. And how happy and blessed is Sri Ramakrishna, in spite of his broken arm and this and that. God has revealed to me that only the Paramatman, whom the Vedas describe as the pure soul, is as immutable as Mount Sumeru, unattached and beyond pain and pleasure. There is much confusion in this world of his Maya. One can by no means say that this will come after that or this will produce that. This Karyakaranyam is in our mind, not in the world outside. Surendra smiling. If by giving away money in a previous birth one gets wealth in this life, then we should all give away money now. We'll get them in the next life. Master, those who have money should give it to the poor and needy. That is sure. To Trailokya, Jai Gopal Sen is well-to-do. He should be charitable. That he is not so is to his discredit. There are some who are miserly, even though they have money. There is no knowing who will enjoy their money afterwards. Jayagopal came here the other day. He drove over here in a carriage. The lamps were broken. The horse seemed to have been returned from the Charmel house where the rotten corpse spurred. And the coachman looked as if he had just been discharged from the medical college hospital. Had he brought me two rotten, and he brought me two rotten pomegranates. Allah. Surendra. Jayagopal Babu belongs to the Brahma Samaj. I understand that now there is not one worthwhile man in Keshav's organization. Vijay Goswami, Shivnath and other notables have organized the Sadharan Brahma Samaj. We have discussed this sometime. Master smiling. Govinda Adhikari, it is said, would not keep good actors in his theatre. They should claim a share of the profit. Allah. Examples. The other day I saw a disciple of Keshav. A theatrical performance was being given in Keshav's house, and I saw the disciple dancing on the stage with a child in his arms. I understand that this man delivers lectures. He had better lecture to himself. That means not attending anything but his own child. Trailokya sang. Upon the sea of blissful awareness, waves of ecstatic love arise. Rapture divine, play of God's bliss. Oh, how enthralling. Wondrous waves of the sweetness of God, ever new and ever enchanting. Rise on the surface, ever assuming forms ever fresh. Then once more in the great communion, all are merged as the barrier walls of time and space dissolve and vanish. Dance then, O mind, dance in delight, with hands upraised, chanting Lord Hari's holy name. So, by thinking of God, this will be the state. Sri Ramakrishna requested Trailokya to sing the song beginning, O Mother, make me mad with thy love. Trailokya sang, O Mother, make me mad with thy love. What need have I of knowledge or reason? Make me drunk with thy love's wine. O thou who stealest thy bhakta's hearts, drown me deep in the sea of thy love. Here in this world, this madhouse of thine, some laugh, some weep, some dance for joy. Jesus, Buddha, Moses, Gauranga, all are drunk with the wine of thy love. O Mother, when shall I be blessed by joining their blissful company? I wanted to talk some. Time is there, so you can talk a little about this Sadharan Samaj. Shall we go to the next chapter? You see, the originator of Brahma Samaj is Raja Ram Mohan Roy. Then the leadership passed to Devendranath Tagore. Then it came to Keshav Chandra Sen. Now, Keshav used to move by his own whims. So some of the people said, we must make rules. They made rules, and they were much given to social reforms also. So they made a rule that one should not marry or encourage the marriage of a girl below such and such age. And Keshav agreed to that. But when the turn came, Keshav's own daughter was less than that age. And a good possible groom came, so he married his daughter to that prince of Kuch Bihar. Now that made a nail in the coffin. And by that time, due to Sri Ramakrishna's influence and by his inner spirituality, Keshav, now Brahma Samaj was a reformist movement. But Keshav turned more and more to the orthodox Hindu culture, society, religion, and so they divided. And Keshav Samaj started calling the Indian Brahma Samaj. Now the others did not want this limitation of Indian to be there. So they called it Sadharan Brahma Samaj. Sadharan does not mean ordinary. Sadharan means general. In contrast with the limited area of Indian, they called it general. We are broad. That was the idea. Now, today we came across inspiring incident, though Thakur's hand is still broken. And he has given beautiful explanation of how we should live our life. Do not get confused by what is happening in the world. Do not try to trace cause and effect every time. But there are certain rules that if you have money, you must give. Whether you reap it or not is a different thing. But if you have money, you must give. It is your fault if you have and do not give. So, and the Trilokya singing and Thakur's floating in bliss, that is what we have mainly seen today. And we have seen the attitude of an incarnation is different from the attitude of a man who has gained perfection in this life. Om Tava Kathāmritam Tapta Jivanam Kavibhireditam Kalmashapaham Shravanamangalam Shrimadasatam Bhuhi Grunanti Ye Bhurida Jana Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat Sri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.